Today, as tyranny once again threatens Europe, we and our allies stand together in support of Ukraine to deter aggression and secure peace.
Good day, friends. And of course, that was King Charles. I keep wanting to say Prince Charles, but of course now he's the King of the United Kingdom in Windsor Castle, welcoming the President Donald Trump from the USA as they were tucking into a lavish meal. And the welcoming speech included some reference: as tyranny once again threatens Europe, we and our allies stand together in support of Ukraine. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about his speech and also a little bit about the present situation today in Ukraine as it appears in the media, online, on YouTube, and through other media outlets, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Of course, as a member of the monarchy, as king, as head of state, King Charles is able to comment. And of course, the comments would usually reflect those of the British government, which they do in this case. And what I found interesting was the fact that he didn't mention Russia by name, although the inference is very, very clear from what he was saying, that he was referring to effectively the tyrant. Tyranny requires a tyrant, and the tyrant must be, by extrapolation from slightly minced words, it must be Russia. So he's defining Russia as tyrants, slightly better than his previous reference to Vladimir Putin as Adolf Hitler in 2014. So perhaps he's softening a little. I don't know. But of course he has a right to say what he wants, and it is a reflection of the British government and probably the majority of the British people who have been under the auspices of British media for all their lives. So, of course, that they would probably reflect the general opinion of the government. I'm not saying everyone in the UK agrees with the government. Certainly, more recently, it seems like most of the British population disagree with some fundamental points of Keir Starmer's government, but not including the Ukraine conflict, where most British people seem to be in support of the narrative and the propaganda that comes out of government ministers' mouths every day concerning Russia. Whether it's correct or incorrect doesn't seem to matter to most people in the UK. It's like a tablet which they swallow for a headache. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, then the headache continues. Perhaps that's a terrible analogy. But whatever it is, they seem to swallow it and regurgitate it wholesale if necessary. It's interesting, I was looking at a comment by someone concerning the Ukraine conflict, and they were talking about the population of Ukraine and how people react, the level of reaction and the level of feeling towards Russia and the Russian people by inference. And the way it was explained, I don't have it in front of me, I don't have a copy of it, but off the top of my head, the way it was explained was something like, he said 20% of population are very extreme, maybe they don't want to be fighting, or they do want to be fighting, one or the other. And the rest of them are somewhere kind of in the middle, a little befuzzled, and really just looking for guidance and trying to get on with their lives, looking for guidance, hoping it all turns out well. And that seems to be probably something similar in the UK. In general, who's interested in politics? A few people. Most people are interested in politics? Well, a little superficially, if it's something really big that affects you, the budget, if it affects your income, people are interested. But in general, how interested are they? There's a few scandals and things, parliamentary affairs, things like that, which catch the attention. MPs, private expenditure catches the attention. Little things, unimportant things, really. That's how interested the British public are in general in the politics. But in the case of a war, obviously, the attention is heightened. And the second thing I wanted to talk about was the situation in Ukraine at the moment, as it appears to be right now, that in the northeast front in Pokrovsk, there appears to be something of a breakthrough for the Russian forces. And this area reserves, including some detail of the Azov battalion, they were rushed to this area when the Russian incursion took an unexpected direction. Instead of encircling Pokrovsk, they suddenly veered right, taking a branch to the right, not the expected turn. And of course, they had to rush in support to breach that attack. And what happened at that stage was that the troops and the support was taken from other areas of the front. And it appears that right across the front at the moment, there appears to be little leaks appearing, and in some cases quite larger leaks. Kupiansk also is under great pressure at the moment. In recent days, there's been something about yet another, I think it's the third or the fourth pipeline underground advance, undetected advance by Russia underground into the middle of the combat zone, unseen. And in this case, it appears to have worked quite well for the Russian side, putting severe pressure on the defense in Kupiansk. And looking across different commentaries on that area, again, it appears to be a matter of time before Kupiansk and Pokrovsk will fall to the Russian side, which has phenomenal implications to the rest of the front. And again, depending on how many reserves are used or totally exhausted, attempting to secure these areas. It's a very interesting time ahead, coming up in the near future, for the developments of this conflict. And of course, the winter is also coming when you would expect a dramatic slowdown. At the moment, it appears that the Ukrainian infrastructure is targeted in terms of railroad and energy supplies. It's always been energy supplies, but at the moment, railroad as well is being heavily targeted to stop the supply, the quick transport of troops. They now have to depend on roads. Roads obviously come with their own set of difficulties these days, the nearer you get to the front. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens coming up in the next few weeks and months. Have a great evening. Goodbye.